Hello, everyone. Hello, are you here? Uh, just, just saying it again, please. I'm sending a link, a chat of Miro's platform. You're gonna use this platform to some activities in our class. So please get in that. Click on the link, register if you haven't. And please keep it open because we're gonna use it through our classes. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm just saying hi to everyone. And today we're gonna talk about Amazonian context. So let me share my presentation. All right, so let's start. First of all, I would like to thank you again, Professor Caio and also Cesupa, to have invited me to be here in the Amazon Experience Cesupa Virtual Challenge. Actually, it is a very nice and a very important initiative of Cesupa, because as we are in the Amazon, and as the Amazon is one of the most important things in the world to be discussed today, I think we are going to have a very important conversation here. So thank you for being here, and thank you for having invited me, Professor Caio and Cesupa. It's an honor be here with you. I'm an alumni at Cesupa, and first of all, I'd like to present myself to you. I'm 29 years old, and it's been 7 years since I started doing business and projects also in the Amazon region. I'm nowadays work as an entrepreneur. I will present my company to you in the next class. But I'm also studying, so I'm considering myself as an academic, and I'm studying the Amazonian development. And also I work sometimes as a consultant to other projects actually, who need some help to start, as I bet you need some help. So, and also I sometimes work as a volunteer, also related to Amazonian projects. It was here at Cesupa when I get my first experience working with Amazonian projects. In this picture, you can see me and my colleagues in 2014 or 2013, actually. It was a project called Ilhas Legais, or in English, would be like the island, the legal island, or the island with justice. And we were at that time bringing some law knowledge to riverside population, and we are gonna talk about them also. That was my first experience with Amazonian assets, actually, and also with Amazonian peoples, those especially who live in the riverside. And with them, we developed another project called Ecovita. And in this picture, you can see me and my colleagues. We have, in that time, being awarded as the only Brazilian project award actually in that year by the Organization of the American States, OAS. And we went to Paraguay country to represent Brazil and to present that people and the projects we have developed with them. Actually, Ecovita was a project who was supposed to produce features to offices and to home, and we done that with garbage we found in the riverside communities. It was a very good experience for me, and it was one of the first experience I have starting a business in the Amazon region. Nowadays, I'm a partner at Manioca. Manioca is a food industry. We produce, of course, food in the Amazon region, but using all of our products are especially made from Amazonian ingredients and from Amazonian biodiversity items. So we produce sauces, jams, flours, We also produce spices and so on. So we're going to talk about Manioca. Despite of being my company, I think it's a very nice case to show to you, to be shown to you, and that's why we're going to talk about Manioca a little bit more in the second classes. Here you can see our product line, some of our products. We produce ingredients which are traditional here in our region, but we also create new ingredients, new products, and foodstuffs with our biodiversity. So sometimes it is something cultural, but sometimes it is something totally new, brand new. We create. Imagine that it would be great with our local biodiversity, and it is the case of the granola. You can see the white one. You can see at the screen. It is the first granola made from tapioca, but I won't get in it because we are going to talk about it in the second class. So how can we develop the Amazon through bioeconomy? It is one of the questions of my life, and it is the question which is leading my academic studies now. I'm making a master's degree in the local federal university of Pará State, where we are, and where Cesupa is located, of course. And that is the question who is leading my research, because I think bioeconomy is one of the key resources to protect and also develop the Amazon region. And that's why I'm here to share with you some of my my concerns and some of my concepts I have been developing through the last years. So why context? Why are we gonna talk about context of the Amazonian context today? First of all, I would bet that this picture speaks for itself, but of course, we are going to talk about context because we need to avoid some mistakes we can take within the business development in the Amazon, making startups and starting a business here. And also, we need to avoid that our business or startup is starting to have some mistakes being taken here at the region, because of course we are not here to promote more damage to the forest. So what we're gonna see today, we're gonna pass through these 6 items. This is the 6 topics, I would say, of our class. We are gonna first pass through the history, then the climate and environment, then people and culture. So we are gonna talk also about the challenge, and we are going to talk also about the business environment, and at the end, sustainability and bioeconomy in the Amazon. And I hope that the information as we are going to talk here today helps you to develop your business. So one of the first things that I need to say to you is that please, I need you to make questions for me, because of course, it is the first experience of this project of Amazonian Experience Viral Challenge, and then your questions are going to help us to improve this course and improve this experience. So please make questions. And how we are going to make this question, I'm about to show you. But the first thing I want to say to you, and actually I want to ask it to you, is what's the third comes to your mind when you talk about the Amazon? So we are gonna answer that in the Mirrors platform, and that's why I asked you so much to maintain, keep the Mirrors platform open. I will stop a little bit my my screen, share this screen actually, and I'm gonna start to share Mirrors platform so we can do it together. So please go to the Mirrors platform if you are in there yet. And we are gonna make some exercise to start. Just give me a minute. I'm sharing with you the Mirrors platform right now. So here we are. Mirrors platform is actually just taking some work to explain it. Mirrors platform is actually a board. It's a very simple board. It's a very simple tool. Simple tool. We can use it. So in the first part, you can see that I set here a board with that question. What comes to your mind when we talk about the Amazon? So I need you to write here in this post-it what comes to your mind. Please do it in 1 or 2 words, no more than it. And so we can register your opinion, your first opinion, or the first words that comes to your mind when you are talking about the Amazons. So please put here what you think. You can put more than once. Be free to put how many words you want, but different pursuits, of course. So here we have indigenous peoples, huge forest and land, damp, swamp, exotic plants, biodiversity, natural resource, beauty and culture, of course, richness, rainforest, home, sustainability, reef, okay, yeah, the riverside people, an abundance of resource, of course, we're going to talk about it. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. So thank you for putting these words here. Please don't stop to do it. If you remember another word in the middle of our class today, please be free to come here and put another word or another sentence, but please shortly of what comes to your mind when you talk about the Amazon. What I think is that after this first class of ours, you can come back here and watch and see and question yourself if your first impression, first concepts about the Amazon has changed. So I will take this time also to explain the other part of Miro. If you go down in the board, you're gonna see that there are 6 other boards, and each of these boards has a title. Those are exactly the topics we are gonna discuss in our class today. So this board you can see here below is to you to, so please don't move it, please. Is to you put your question about those topics. So please, when we are talking about the history, and if you have some doubt, some question about it, please put the questions you have about that topic here in the boards, the topics board. So if you have some doubt about the history, about the climate, about the culture, please put your doubt here. Take care, please, to don't erase it and don't delete it. Okay. Okay. Well, when you have this doubt, you need just to take some zoom in and click it 2 times. Make a double click at the post-it so you can write your doubt here. But look. I will be saying to you, telling you when it's the time to put your doubt. So please, let's go back to the meet room. I'm gonna share my presentation again, and we are starting our discussion today. All right, so we have already checked the Mirrors platform. I think you already have understand how it works. So if you have any doubt, please, about the Mirrors platform, please put in our chat. But if you have doubts, as I said, about the topics of our class, please put that doubt in the Mirrors platform so you can hold this for other times, and we can understand how can I answer your questions later. So first of all, we are going to talk about the history of the Amazon. Of course, it's not my intention to say everything about the Amazonian history, but I think there are important things we need to know about that. The first is that in the 17th century, in the beginnings of the 17th century, it was when the Portuguese, and of course, you know, they colonized the Amazonia. Actually, they colonized all of the Brazil, of course, but they started in the beginning of the 17th century to colonize Amazonian region, and they come through Amazonian region to the Amazonas River, which is, of course, the largest river we have here in the Amazon and also in the world. So they started our colonization, let's say this way, to implement here the same models, the same business model, I would say, they had already implemented in the Brazilian coast. Let's remember that a colonization was actually a business. It was not just conquer a new territory. It was also a business of the countries who were at that time colonizing other countries in other lands then. So it was, of course, their way to do that business using the slaves workforce, and it was exactly what they trying to do here in the Amazon region when they come here in the beginnings of the 17th century. And as I said, they wanted at that time to implement the same business model, which were planting and collecting, especially sugar cane in Brazilian land. So, but when they came here, they found that that model wouldn't work here. Of course, our lands weren't in a nice place to do that cultivation, and then they started to use extractive models to take some profits with our region. And then they started to take the fruits, the plants, and the spices we had here. I don't know if you know that, but items like cocoa and like rubber, like tonka bean, it was native from here, the Amazon, and then it was spread all over the world. And then as the business model, let's say this way, started to be extractive, an extractive agriculture, of course, you've got to have a workforce that knew the lands where the fruits and so on would be extracted. And what was that workforce? Of course, that workforce was the indigenous people, and they used especially the religious communities to do so. So the colonization have religious communities to, of course, spread their religion here, and then they started to use that to engage, of course, is not exactly the word, to force the local people to be their workforce. So it works. It really works. In the beginning of the 19th century, those who were known as the main cultures, main crops here in the Amazon, actually it would be not a crop, but a cultive, extractive cultive, cocoa and tonka bean, as I said, and rubber. They represented at that time 90% of the exportations of our colony, of the colony in this region, actually. And the prices were so high. And why the price was so high? Because here we had not cultivations, large cultivations, the prices were depending of the availability of those products on the force, and of course of the workforce who were taking it, as I said, the indigenous people. And then we had times with a lot of money coming from these ingredients. Rubber was, I think, the remarkable one. We had the rubber time in the Amazon, and with that time, with that money that was being made here with the rubber, two of the main cities in the Amazon was built. So Manaus, you can see here one of the most important tourist points in Manaus, which is known as the capital, I would say, that of the Amazon, but it is actually the city capital of the Amazonas state, which is one state among them inside inner the Amazon. And this is, of course, you can see this theater was built with European influences, especially with French influences. And it was on that time when rubber, cocoa, and other crops was attracting a lot of money to our region. It happens also in Belém, the other big city in the Amazon. We are gonna talk a little bit more about these two cities because it will be helpful to you when you start your business. But it is another theater we have here in Belém. And of course, as you can see, it has a lot of European influence in the architecture. And then the forest was still considered as a rebel. And I don't know if you know that, but sometimes they called Amazon region as the green hell, because the forest, of course, was a deep forest, and it was very difficult to deal with. And then they depended on the local workforce, as I said to you, and it was every time thought as a rebel, as a place to be conquered, as a place to be civilized. Then, in the beginnings of the 20th century, 21st century, actually, I'm sorry, in the beginnings of the 20th century, I'd say the government was still trying to dominate, I would say in this way, the forest, and at that time making a lot of subsidies to companies all over the world, Brazilian companies, of course, but also foreign companies like Ford. I don't know if those who are from USA, if you know, but the Ford company, which was one of the bigger, actually it was the bigger company in the world at that time, of course, producing cars, and they started a factory here to produce rubber, the rubber that would be used in their tires producing. But it didn't work, even with a lot of subsidies, even with the Brazilian government giving them lands to make their endeavor. And it didn't work, actually, because, as I said, there was always a difficult to deal with the local culture, a difficult to deal with the local environment and ecosystem, so it didn't work. And then what we have today, as I said to you, it was every time a trying of the Brazilian government, no matter if it was in the colonization times, no matter if it was already a republic, but the thing here in the Amazon was every time trying to domesticate the forest as the greenhouse, as I said to you, and as something that you need to colonize or you need to civilize and you need to dominate. But it has left us with a lot of problems, of course. So we've got the social distortions. We've got a huge part of the Amazonian population concentrated in just two cities in the Amazon, which are Belém City and Manaus City, as I have just shown to you. And then we've got the worst ADA here in the North region, especially in Pará State. We have the higher rates of inequality in Brazil, and we have extremely concentrated urban areas. And we are going to talk what we have to do with the business we are just about to start. So, and besides of that, there's a future burning on the news that Amazon is under fire, and of course the actions our government took in the last centuries was fundamental to that, because there weren't a concern about the forest assets and the Amazonian assets and the riches we have here. So then that's why we are here. Of course, the business we are about to start here in the Amazonian project, Amazonian Experience project, of course, they are meant to be sustainable ones, and they are meant to be business that helps the forest and at the same time that are great business. So let me check if you have put some questions at Miro, and I need to remember you that we have that card with the topics we are gonna see today. So if you have any doubt about what I'm just or I just said, please write here in the post-its regarding of the topics of we are saying. Please, you need to make a zoom in the post-its you want to use and make a double click, and then it will be easy to write your doubt in the post-its. Okay. Okay, so actually we don't have any doubt here, but I would refer to you and asking you to make questions, please. I can't know what is your background about the Amazon, and I can't know what your main interest about the Amazon. So if you make questions, we can get into it. So let me go back to my presentation, and then we are going forward to the next topic. So just a minute to drink some water. So climate and environment, of course, you have seen in the news that the Amazon region is burning, and of course with that there are severe risks of it. And of course, as you may know, that at this time social and biodiversity are our main riches in the Amazon. So we have in the data is showing us only in the last year 653,000 of soccer fields in deforestation within the Amazon region. So it's very, very dangerous to our futures, and of course it threatens, as I said, our biodiversity and our social diversity. The scientists say that we have only 15 years forward until we get in a point with no turning back in deforestation. So the forest has a capacity to rebuild itself, but if we maintain the deforestation rate we have up to now, we have only 15 years forward to get in a point of no turning back in the forest deforestation. But we all need the Amazonian safe, of course. And what is that? And why we need the Amazonian safe, and why it's so important to the world? Of course, the Amazon region is a huge, enormous region. It reached 9 countries in the South America. We have only in Brazil, in Brazilian Amazon region, 25 million people and 50% of the Brazilian territory. I'm used to saying that when we talk about the Amazon, it seems like we are talking about a very teeny island in the very north of Brazil, but actually we are talking about 15% of the Brazilian territory. So it's a huge place, and of course it is the half of our country, so we need to take care of it. We have 5 million of square kilometers only in the Brazilian Amazon region, and we have 300 billion trees in this region. But I have already seen research showing that it can be 600 billion trees, and those trees spread in the atmosphere 20 billion tons of water per day. Yes, I said 20 billion tons of water per day, and it is more than the rivers in the Amazon are spreading, actually are pushing into the oceans, into the sea. In this image, in this picture, you can see the rivers within the Amazon, and they throw in the sea 17 billion tons of water per day. And I don't know if you have get it, but I said that the trees put 20 billion tons of water per day in the atmosphere, in the rivers, put 17 billion tons of water per day in the ocean. So our trees is spreading in the atmosphere more water than the rivers, all of the rivers in Brazil, in the Amazon region, in the sea. So it's very important to know that, because with this we can check what is the importance not also of Amazon water, but of course of the Amazonian trees and the Amazonian forest. 20% of the world's fresh water is in the Amazon. Actually, it is only in the Amazonas River, which is the main river in our region, as you can see in this picture. Well, you may know actually that one of the biggest threats we have with the climate change is the access of potable water, of the fresh water. And here is one of the most important things about the Amazon, which is we got and we hold actually 20% of the world's fresh water in only one of our of course the bigger one of our rivers. And the Amazon forest holds also 10 years of the world's CO2 emissions. So let's imagine what it will be if we go forward in 10 years of the CO2 emissions, and that's what the forest Amazon region means. So of course we need the Amazon region safe. Let's check if you've got if you have put some questions here in the Muros platform. And now I need to reinforce with you. Please put the questions you have here in Muros so we can be sharply in the subjects you want to know. There is one question about the last topic, how the history of the Amazon can influence nowadays. It's very interesting, this question, because that's why I put the history topic in our class today. The deforestation sometimes is shown as a development alternative to Brazil. So sometimes they use it to say that we have two options: or keep the forest safe, or develop our country. And it's a false option, because we don't need to the forest to develop our country. As we have said in the centuries I've shown to you, it was just a mindset. Of course, there was personal interest and political interest in it, but it was fundamentally a mindset which thought that in the Amazon region, where we were supposed and we were meant to have the same agricultural model our colonizer have put it in the Brazilian coast. And of course, we didn't needed to do that. And what the history showed to us is that there were a lot of social and biodiversity riches that we haven't watched in the last century. And of course, it influences in the way we are educated, in the way we think the business we want to run in the Amazon region. There is another question here in the climate topic, which is, what is the most important threat to the forest? The most important threat to the forest is not a simple one, but I bet it is the deforestation. But the deforestation has a lot of causes. The history, as I said, and also the capacity of our region to protect itself and so on. But the threat to the region, of course, is the deforestation, because with the deforestation, we lost not even our biodiversity, and of course not even the trees, but it lost also the biggest chance of Brazilian development, because as you may see, we are not a developed country yet, and we are not going into that without understanding what are our real potentialities, and one of these, of course, is the Amazon forest. There's another point to say to you about the climate and within this question. The researchers, the scholars and scientists have discovered that there are kind of flying rivers that are thrown by the force. Of course, you have seen, I said to you, that the trees throws in the atmosphere 20 billions of tons of water per day. And of course, this humidity is launched in the atmosphere, and then it goes to the south part of the country, and it allows the south part of the country, and not even not only our country, but also Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, to produce their food and to make agriculture. So when we just cut the trees, and only one tree can spread in the atmosphere more than 300 liters of water per day. So when you cut one tree, that is 300 liters of water per day you are losing in the continent agriculture, in the continent atmosphere. So cutting the Amazon is not only a damage to the Amazon region, but also to all of the South America. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. And then we are going to talk about the third topic, which is people and culture within the Amazon River. I take this picture here because that's how we were supposed to be if it were the COVID-19, if it were the pandemic, because of course it is one of the best ways we We have here in Belém City to enjoy our nature, and of course there is potentiality here to tourism, and we are going to talk about it in the next class when I'm going to bring it to you some business opportunity. But okay, let's go back to our reality. We are here, I'm here in Belém City. As I said to you, there are two main cities in the Amazon region, two metropolises. Those are Manaus City and Belém City. Belém City, I will show to you, is in the east, northeast actually part of the Amazon region, and the Manaus City are in the middle center of the Amazon region. But we are, as you can see, a metropolis. We have 1.5 million people living here. We are one of the UNESCO gastronomy city the last few years. We in Belém are composed, our city composed with almost 40 islands around and surrounding our city. We have, of course, a population that was formed with indigenous people, Black people, Portuguese, French, Jews, Lebanese, and Japanese. Also, I haven't put here, but of course, we are the third most Japanese habitated places outside Japan. We have a city which is known as a Japanese city here near from Belém. And we were found in the beginning of the 17th century. And here, this picture shows to you one of the most important thing for you who want to be an entrepreneur within the Amazon and using the Amazon resources. Because here, we have a mix of two really important things, and especially a traditional knowledge about how to use our biodiversity assets. And you also have in their hands the Amazonian assets, the biodiversity assets we have here. That's how one of the biggest cosmetic companies in the world, which is Natura, has learned how to manage and how to take advantage, I would say the way, from the Amazonian assets. For the USA guys, Natura nowadays is the owner of Avon, one of the USA most famous cosmetic companies. And normally when people come here to the Amazon to make some endeavor, some business, they ignore totally the importance of the knowledge that people have been into in the last generations. They are the source of all the knowledge we have about how to use the Amazonian assets. Here we have a picture of Manaus City. Manaus, of course, is a huge city. It is the bigger city in the Amazon. I don't know if you know that, but Manaus has more inhabitants than Paris, and Belém has more inhabitants, over 3 times Miami. And so we can note that these two cities are huge metropolis. Manaus has 2.2 million people living there, and that city is actually the reference city in the Amazon. Despite Belém is, of course, within the Amazon, Manaus is known as the city of the Amazon, let's say this way, because, as I said, they are in the middle center of the Amazon, and they've got they actually maintain that ecosystem of indigenous place, of deep inside the forest place, and so on. And of course, it has helped Manaus to develop a strong tourism ecosystem, much more than Belém. I would say that in Belém we have a more strong multicultural ecosystem, and what is really helpful to the gastronomy, very rich gastronomy we have. I would say that of course, I would say that we have one of the most amazing gastronomies, amazing foods in the world. But Manaus, of course, has that potentiality of strong tourism based on indigenous culture and based on the forest experiences. Manaus was built or launched almost 15 years, actually almost 50 years after Belém. And we have a interesting case there in Manaus that I want to say to you. In Manaus, as I said to you in the beginning, and you have already asked me about the history and how the history influences in our times, nowadays in the Amazon. And that culture, that mindset, as I said, of dominate and give some use that has been set in other places and bring this use to the Amazon region, we can check this mindset in the free zone that was installed in Manaus City. And for the Brazilian guys, the free zone is the Zona Franca. And this zone was an industrial zone that was being put in the city with the goal of influentiate a development in the region. And of course, it didn't happen because they haven't thought that to produce a development in the region, we need to pass through the human resources. And one of the best ways to do so is to give value to our culture, to our biodiversity assets, as we have talking in the last minute. I want to say just one more case about the free zone in Manaus, which is the Sony, which is one of the biggest, how can I say that, the biggest world producers of televisions, of all of, how can I say that, home equipment as televisions and so on, but they have left the free zone, and what was left to the Manaus city was actually almost nothing, because they haven't educated the people, and the local people haven't had the opportunity to be qualified to work in technology companies. And then when that company simply left the region, almost nothing was left back. So here we've got a map, so you can see the distance, especially for the guys from USA. Normally in the Amazon, actually normally if you are not from the Amazon, you can't understand in the first step the distance between the cities in the Amazon. But as I said to you, the Amazons represent 50% of the Brazilian territory, so it's a huge place. And when we talk about these two cities, Manaus and Belém, it seems to be close cities. And normally when we receive some friend here that is coming here to our region from other places, they say, oh, and I can take one day in Manaus if I'm in Belém. And of course, but you've got to take a plane and spend 2 hours to be there. And if you want to do this by cars, and of course almost anyone do that, almost no one do that actually, you've got 3,000 kilometers to do so, it will be almost 2,000 miles to get to Manaus from Belém. It is really distant places. And that's an interesting thing, I would say about that, which is if you ask for the population of some friends in Belém, of course, it would be easier. You found that your friends have already have already gone to Miami, but not to Manaus. It is very common, and I'm afraid to say that, but I won't say it to you. There is only 4 states I don't know yet in Brazil, and the 4 are here in the Amazon region, because it's not a common thing. You be traveling between the Amazon regions, of course, if you don't have some job there. So also in the Amazon region, we have 900,000 indigenous people living here, yet those who were resistant and those who came through these times living yet. We have 3,000 communities of traditional peoples. We have 200,000 families living in that. So there is 190 million hectares and 470 million acres of lands that is inhabited for those people, and those lands actually are a very interesting place to imagine how to relationate, how to actually connect with the business you are just about to start. So all of those regions can be places when and where actually you can find Amazonian assets, and where you can find people who knows how to manage that assets. So consider this, please, when you are thinking about start your business within the Amazon. But there is one thing very important to say to you about that relation, which is the relations with traditional people here. Actually, the traditional peoples here in the Amazon region must be based on trust. Of course, as most of that people are living within the forest, the relation are not so a professional based relation. The relation is based on trust, on the friendship, and on the mutual confidence. So if you want to make business within the Amazon, please consider that you must be willing to make trust relations within the Amazonian people. And probably, just one more point, and probably I have seen it happens a lot of times. Probably if you don't want to do so, if you don't understand that relations, your business won't work in the Amazon region. I have seen small companies, medium companies, and multinational companies trying to do business within the Amazon and failing as they didn't understand that relation with the Amazonian people. So let's check the mirrors again. If you have put some doubts there, some question. Okay. All right. Any doubts about any question about culture aspects? Please, I want to reinforce with you. Please make questions, because it will be really helpful for our class and, of course, for your business. All right. Okay, no questions about the culture. All right, so let's go back to the presentation. Uh, okay, okay. Next topic is the challenge. Of course, with all that I've taught you in the last hour, there are challenges related to that. So what would be the challenge you are gonna face starting a business here in the Amazon? The first thing we have just said about it, the timing and cultural difference between you and the people who live here. And note that even if you want to make a business in the urban area, and even if you don't want to relate with the traditional people, let's say this way, it is probable that you are going to face difference, cultural difference with the Amazonian people. And one of the most important difference I've seen between companies who intended to make business here in the Amazon was the understand of the timing, the timing the people who live here have. So normally, when some companies come from other places, other regions to here, they face that difficult, which is how to convince or how to adapt their expectations of the velocity of the business with the expectations of the people who live here. Normally, the people who live here don't have the same notion of time the business who come here want to find here. So pay attention to that. And another point is how to find qualified professionals to compose your team, the team of your business. And of course, there is a difficulty here because, as I said to you, the model of development we have faced in our centuries didn't give us the chance to developing ourselves as human resources to companies and professionally. Other challenge, of course, you're gonna face here is the supply chain. As I said to you, the Amazonian biodiversity is huge. So there are a lot of items we haven't actually constructed and built supply chain within that. So please note that probably if you want to manage and deal with the biodiversity assets, maybe you're gonna have to balance some assets which already have a supply chain established with other assets that maybe you would be asked to build the supply chain. So pay attention to that. And another thing is, of course, related to this lack of supply chain is the informal business ecosystem. There is a lot of times when you don't have partners, suppliers who have the minimal formal aspects to make business with you. So you need to pay attention to that, to don't be surprisingly taken when you can't have some raw material, some ingredients from the forest because there is no formal relations actually. And another issue you are gonna face here is the logistics, not even the local logistics, but also the international logistics. Of course, as I said, there are a lot of supply chain that haven't been set already. So Of course, with that comes the logistic challenge in the Amazon region. So one of the ways you have to manage and to deal with it is to balance your raw materials, your product line, to don't get into the most difficult supply chains and within the most difficult assets and ingredients with the Amazon region. Sometimes it takes days, and I would say many days, for you to have some forced asset. Well, there are places where you can only get with 3, 4, 5 days or a week and by boat. So please pay attention to that. But I will say to you that there are also opportunities with this this kind of challenge, and I will show to you this opportunity in some minutes. So there's another question. Actually, there's another issue you have to pay attention, which is the scale, the notion of scale, of the production scale in the Amazon. Normally, you come here to the Amazon. Imagine that as the Amazon region is huge, of course, you will easily have a supply chain with scale or a production with scale, and that sometimes don't work so easily. But of course, as I said, the Amazon region is really huge. It is 50% of the Brazilian territory. So anything you talk about the Amazon has the scale, let's say this way. So don't worry about that, but just imagine that one of the special points in the scale is to manage the scale with diversity. So try don't focus in only one asset. Try focus on the value, the added value the biodiversity will bring to your product line, to your company, and then try to think the scale with that aspect. And there's another point about the scale, which is sometimes you don't need this kind of scale of millions and millions of products to make a lot of profit and to have a huge revenue. There's a recently found information that scientists has published just some weeks ago, which is there is a poison, a snake poison found in the Amazon, and with just some milligrams of that poison, we are gonna reach 1/10 of the Brazilian total exportation. And yeah, I will repeat for you, just some milligrams of that snake poison would represent 1/10 of all of Brazilian exportation. So sometimes you've got scale, but you don't need to think about it every time as a difficulty, because there are so amazing assets here in the region that sometimes, yes, when we are talking about the opportunities, and I will show to you a lot of reference of business that have been running here. I will say to you a very interesting case about an oil which has been extracted from the Amazon for decades, and which is used in the most famous perfume in the world, which is Chanel No. 5. So let's go forward. There's another point of attention. I want to ask you to be here with me and try to understand that. In 2010, 80% of all the Brazilian nuts consumed were processed and exported by Bolivia and not from Brazil. And yes, 80% of the Brazilian nut was exported by Bolivia and processed by Bolivia in 2010. Of course, it was not an isolated year. It has happened a lot of times in the Amazon, and of course, in this sentence, you can understand that that those challenges I've said to you just minutes before have influenced here in this case. In this case particularly, what happened was that the Brazilian producers just didn't get the European health standards. So the Bolivian managed with that. They gathered and they set together all of the Bolivian producers. They started to use technologies. They installed a lab to manage with that requirement from European zone, and they just take all of the Brazilian nuts almost. And okay, let's check if there is question, if there are some questions in Miro's platform. So there are questions about the challenge. Which are the main challenges of the Amazon? I think I said to you the main challenge, but of course, through the next week when you are developing more focusedly your business, we can talk about specific challenges you've got in your business, and maybe try to show to you some challenges you haven't faced already. Okay, how has development affected the region? I think that the challenge I've said to you was particularly influenced by the development we have chosen as Brazil to the Amazon region in the last centuries. As I said to you, one of the most important things to talk about in the Amazon region, and of course in the Amazon development, is the human resources and the qualification of the human resources. And to do so, you need to engage and to understand that you need to take good advantage of the people who live here, giving them qualification, giving them education, giving them professional education, and giving them minimum wage, and giving them some sources of income to improve their lives. So there is no way to think about that challenge. Those challenges I've said to you to be removed, let's say this way, without thinking about how to improve the local people quality of life quality. And this, of course, would influence directly in the challenge we have set. Of course, if you have more qualified professionals, you're going to have a lot of that problem solved. Which countries buy products from the Amazon? Countries all over the world buy products from the Amazon, but European countries especially, they are used to buying a lot of Amazonian products, because especially the European zone are more concerned about the Amazon region. They are more concerned about their personal health, and of course the Amazonian assets and products can help with that. And also there is a strong link, as I said to you, between Japanese and the Amazon region. So Japan is one of our most important importers, and of course USA is a very large country, and of course they are one of our main importers, especially with the acai products. And we are going to talk about the acai later. But USA buys a lot of acai products from Brazil. Okay, how to overcome the infrastructure challenge when doing business with the Amazon? There is two ways to think about that. There is a policymaker way to think about it. So in this kind of thinking, we need, of course, to think how our government can make plans, imagine a complex situation, which is, of course, is not our intention here. But it is important to know that. And as I said to you, let's say more specifically, what are the infrastructure challenges doing business with the Amazon? So we have lack of the internet access, we have lack of roads and logistical points to transport the Amazonian assets and so on. Thinking about the policies we've got to do to manage that, it always will be a complex situation with which we need to manage with a lot of agents together. But I wanna tell you that there is an individual or a business way to deal with this infrastructure challenge in the Amazon. And in the next topics of the class, we are going to talk about that, but there are very interesting solutions that have been set here in the Amazon to manage with that. And we are going to talk about it further. How to attract investments to the Amazon? Oh, that's a great question. I want to say to you right now that think sustainably and think how your business can protect the forest is one of the most important way about attracting investments. But there are a lot of investors looking for the Amazon, and we are going to see some of them in the next slides. But of course, it passed through the sustainably. Main exporters and importers of the Amazon, I have already answered that. So let's say if that, okay. All right, so let's go back to the slides, and let's go through a 5-minute break. Please don't be late. We are gonna have just 5 minutes just to breathe a little bit, stretch your body, take some water, and we are going back in 5 minutes. Hello guys. Let's go back. Let's get back to our class. I hope you are feeling this interesting for you, and I hope you are taking this helpful for you and for the business. You're just about to start here in the Amazon challenge experience. Actually, the Amazon experience challenge, and then we are gonna talk about the business environment here in the Amazon. And I don't know if you have notes of that, but I started by some aspects not so good, of course. I talked about our history. Of course, it was a explorational history. I talked about the difference between cultures. I talked about the challenge, but as you will see, we are starting now to take a positive view over all of that I've said to you before. So let's talk about the business environment in the Amazon. So we have, as I said to you, despite it is only two concentrated areas, urban areas in the Amazon, we have actually two metropolitan regions in the Amazon. As I said to you, Manaus is bigger than Paris, and Belém is 3 times bigger than Miami. And Manaus, and in both the metropolitan regions, surrounding actually Belém in Manaus city, have more than 2 million inhabitants, and it means a huge consumer market. You can explore not only this market, but maybe you want to start your MVP, your minimal viable project, within these metropolitan regions. And of course, you can test a lot of things in these regions, and then present your product or services to the world. Within these two metropolitan regions, which are Belém and Manaus, we have already cargo and logistics service. Of course, services that can give you access to another regions in Brazil and South America, but also logistics that can give you access all over the world. Belém has, despite it is a small port, but Belém has ports, and Belém and Manaus have airports with international flights. In Manioca, I would say that we use these flights to transport our products abroad. And so we have, as I'm saying right now, we have exportation services here in Belém. We have also exportation services there in Manaus, and it is a facilitator because that exportation services have the knowledge to deal with the local ecosystem. So it's really important because, of course, if you got an exportation agency from other places, of course, they will get difficulties and the challenges I have said to you before. So we have also universities, and we are now in a case about that. You are thinking about create business within the Amazon and taking advantage of the Amazonian assets. And here we are in a university giving to you some information and discussing with you about the Amazon. So when you have an ecosystem with university, with the students, researchers, scholars, and technical professionals. Of course, you will have a lot of facilities with that. And Manaus and Belém have very important university, have very important historic history about local researching. We have also business support services, so accountants offices, lawyer offices. We have, as I said, transport facilities. We have a very strong retailing ecosystem here in Belém, which facilitates you to test your products and to run your MVP. And then I'm sure that with these two metropolitan ecosystems, you can run a lot of a lot of your business first steps. And we have markets also already open, like the acai market. Acai, I need to say to you that acai has 150,000 of tons exported per year. So it's a big amount of course, of exportation. And with that exportation already happening, we have a ecosystem with that happening. So we have companies that are already exporting. So we have, with that logistical services, they are used to manage exportation with the Amazonian assets. We have an open market worldwide, as I said to you, Japan, USA, European zone. They are already used to importing acai, and of course it makes it easier to export other Amazonian assets, as Brazilian nuts, I said, as another forestry assets, as beans, as leaves, fruits, and so on. And of course, you need to understand, you need to think about your business with the more added value you can think, because of course we are not here to just export some fruits without any packing, without any added value, without any branding. We are not here to do that. We are here to create business with added value. And acai has been run sometimes with that added value. So with that, you can have benchmark with this supply chain and with this business of acai happening right now. Of course, you have also networking with the companies which are already exporting, and it will be a huge facilitator to run your business. I will show to you a very interesting case about business cooperation. In this picture, you can see my team of Manioca and people from other businesses here in the Amazon. We gather some day to make visitations in other companies. So with that, we could learn with bigger or smaller companies with their best practice, and together with companies like us and with our employees and so on. And with that, I have a very interesting case to show to you, which is the Pura Amazonia network. I will say it in English. It would be in English, actually, the Amazonian Pure Products Network. So we've got together and make a network to improve ourselves together. It was me with Manioca and other 15 businesses here in the Amazon, businesses to who the Amazonian assets were important and were important to their business. So we get together, and with that we could negotiate with retailers. In this picture, you can see a shelf we've got for free in one of the biggest retailers here in Belém region, and it has saved us a lot of money and given us a lot of marketing and promotion, as it is one of the biggest retailers here. But not also, we have also not only actually have also get together to participate in promotional events. We have traveled together to exhibitions in other states in Brazil and in other countries, and all of that we have reached, of course, to be together, negotiating with the local government, negotiating with other businesses that would be important to our business. So it's very important that you are thinking, when you are thinking about your business, you also think how to cooperate with other businesses here in the Amazon, and of course, not only in the Amazon, but cooperate with other business, even in other regions, because it is one of the best ways for us to learn how to improve our business and how to make our process and product better. And sometimes, despite I said to you that we've got a lot of supply chains that haven't not already been set, we have some of them that have been already set. As I said to you, açaí is one of those cases, and we have in the Amazon a lot of organizations, especially NGO organizations, running here a lot of programs which are supposed to structure supply chains exactly to make business opportunities more, how can I say that, more easier to be run here. So Origins Brazil, or Brazil Origins, is a labeling service of an NGO organization which is called Imaflora, and they started this endeavor to help companies to track their supply chain, and not only tracking the supply chain, but establish the supply chain and structure the supply chain. And they make it putting some organizations together, other organizations who are specialized in making supply chains work, especially new supply chains work, with some companies like us. This is one of my products. You can see in the screen, at the screen, and we've got a label, a exclusive label to our product. So when you read, and if you want to do so, you can do it with your smartphone right now. You can read this QR code, and you will be sent to a website where you can see where our raw materials come from. You can see the face of the producers who have been involved in the supply chain, and so on. So despite there are totally new supply chains that haven't been set already, there are others that have been structured with other companies and other organizations, as I'm showing right now to you. It is very, very helpful because, of course, when you are running a business, you can't do everything together. So it's really nice to find those partners here in the Amazon as the Brazilian origins labeling. You have asked this for me some minutes before. We have already here investors, accelerators, and partners here in the Amazon, which are willing to support Amazonian businesses, not only the businesses who are located here, who are placed here, but all of business that want to relate to make a relation with the Amazon. So there are a broad business, even in the business of another regions in Brazil, who are willing to make business within the Amazonian assets and within the Amazon, actually, and with the Amazonian assets. And then we have already a lot of investors, accelerators, in partners to help these companies to do so. And then I want to bring to you one of these cases, which is the PPA, which is a program run by a NGO organization here in the Amazon. And this program aims to help the Amazonian businesses to operate sustainably and to get investors, and the PPA acceleration program also accelerate, of course, that business who want to operate sustainably in the Amazon, especially the small ones. And as you can see in my screen, they have already invested. It is something around $1 million in small businesses here in the Amazon, and they have supported already 30 businesses who are run here in the Amazon sustainably. And then I want to show to you a map that was made just some months before, gathering all the organizations found here who are here to support companies, especially small business and organizations, to operate here sustainably in the Amazon. So there are more than 50 organizations who are who are ready to help your business, and you can see all of them here in my screen. We have investment funds, we have NGOs, we have another kinds of organizations who are willing to help businesses to operate in the Amazon. And this is one of the proofs we have that a small business, and of course not only small, but the business run in the Amazon sustainably is one of the ways we've got to develop our region sustainably, of course. And that's why we can see so much organizations, investors, and supporters, accelerators interested in operate here with the business within the Amazon. So just one observation. You are going to have access to this presentation, so don't be worried about make prints. Don't worry about that. You are going to receive these presentations with all these partners. You can ask for help and support and investment, of course. I printed a part of one of these supporters website, because you maybe would you maybe can't believe when I said that, but there is one fund which is called Auxilia Brazilian Fund, which is a UK and French fund. They have they have launched a fund, which is, of course, is called Ophelia, to invest $100 million in Amazonian region. So when you think about running a business, of course, one of the most important things you think about is how can I get money, how can I get investment for my businesses, and then I'm showing you that money is not so big problem here, because the world, the countries in the world are very interested to help the Amazonian region to survive and to develop, and all of them are understanding that running businesses within the Amazon sustainably is one of the most important ways. So that's why you have only one case, with only one partner here in the Amazon, a fund with with $100 million to be spent here investing in business who are run sustainably in the Amazon. So of course, it's not so easy. It's not so go there and please give me some money. Of course, you've got to have a very structured business. Of course, it is not money the first step of your business. It would be never the money the first step of your business. You need to structure your business. You need to prove that that your business model is sustainably, and of course not only in the environmental way, but in the financial way also. Because I've shown to you just in the beginning of this presentation that sometime in 2014, I was in a way as presentation presenting a business we had just started up here in Cesupa when I was a student here, and then we found a Brazilian investor there. And I remember this so clearly because he asked us how many money we were making with that business. We answered to him that all of the money of that business would be for the Riverside people. And then he looked to our eyes and he said, "Oh, okay, very nice. But so in just some months, you would be asked for work with your father, and the other one would get a really nice job, and the other one will be in another job, and then all of the Riverside people you want to help will be alone without the business you are trying to start right now." So when you think about a business, please think that, of course, we are telling it every time, you need to think sustainably, especially in the Amazon, but you also need to think financially. Your business has to be financially sustainable. So you need to pay very nice wage to your employees. You need to pay nice prices for your suppliers, and there is no way to do so without a very good financially structured business. So please think about that. Of course, a business is a dream for most of the people, especially for those who are entrepreneurs. But please think with your dreams in one hand, and think also with a sheet in other hands, putting there the numbers and calculating if your business can prosperate and can survive with the money you get with your products and services. So going forward with the business environment, the customers are willing to pay more for the products who come from the Amazon. So it was a very fresh survey made by the Bank Federation in Brazil, and they found that 64% of the interviewed persons were willing to pay more for products and services coming from the Amazon region, of course, sustainably. And it shows that when we talk, I said to you before, when we talk about scale, we need to think about added value scale. And there are, with the years passing, there are more and more consumers and customers, clients, people willing to pay more for the sustainable products and services, especially coming from the Amazon. There are also a lot of initiatives trying to put technologies within the forest. And there is one of my favorite projects. I'm following this in the last month and year because I think this is one of the most special projects we are facing here in the Amazon. The Amazonia 4.0, of course, it is related it's related to the fourth industrial revolution. The name aims to say to you that it is a project thinking about high technologies in the Amazon. So the Amazonia 4.0 aims to create two things within the Amazon. So they want to create labs, and within these labs make production and make a basic production and processor and processation, actually storage processing with the Amazonian product. So they intend to install in the Amazonian region a lot of that small labs in which the local people can be processing their assets, especially their biodiversity assets. And not only the labs, but this project also aims to install high-tech connections and infrastructure within the Amazon. So they want to really try 4.0 or fourth revolution also for the forest. And of course, it is thinking, they have been thinking actually in the most sustainable way possibly. Okay, I've said this, so let's check if Muro's platform, let's check if you have had some doubt, more, overcome, okay, I have already answered that. I think there is one new. How to develop a fair trade with the local producers. Of course, there is no way to think about sustainably running a business in the Amazon without fair trade. So one of the most important things is to respect the way of living of the Amazonian people, and of course you can organize the relation so that it can be a relation responsible for the life equality improving of the population within the Amazon. In Manioca, which is my company, we run a program we call the, let me translate this, the developing suppliers program, and with that program we have organized 7 aspects we found that were important to develop together with the suppliers. And I need to say that those suppliers are small farmers traditional farmers and communities within the forest. So I will show this program to you tomorrow in our second class about opportunities. Sorry. So that's it. I need. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. All right, so the last topic in our classes, I hope it's, as I said, I hope it has been helpful to you to understand the Amazon region. And the last topic of our class is sustainability and bioeconomy. And of course, we have left this for the last topic because I think you need to pass these concepts through all of other things you are thinking about your businesses. So there is no sustainable economy in the Amazon without Amazonian people, as we have been saying in the last hours. There is no way to understand and to take the best advantage of the Amazonian assets without considering the knowledge that the local people, local communities have about the forest. So let's imagine, just let me see something here. Okay, so let's imagine the Amazon region as a huge library. And of course, when you get into a huge library, you maybe don't know where to find the knowledge you are looking for. So you need some help. And who are helping you in a huge library is the people who lived here, and of course the people who work there, who are working there. So trying to think about the Amazonian people as the people who knows and who have actually written the books you are accessing in the forest. So there's no way to get inside the forest and understand what you have there without considering and without respect and without inviting the local people to do so together with you. So if we're thinking about making a business using the Amazonian assets, you must think also about how to do that with the local communities and local population, because they are those who knows how to manage the forest, and of course they have been living there for generations, and the knowledge which were passed through generation to generation is very important to manage a business and to run a business within the Amazon. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, as I said, there is a treasure with those who manage the forest for generations, as I said to you. So açaí, cocoa, and Brazilian nut, there are very scientific possibilities that these plants we know is considered to be native of the Amazonian region was actually managed there for the generations who have been passing through the region. So as I said to you, you need to improve this as an advantage and not as a challenge. So açaí, cocoa, and Brazilian nuts together might reach 7 times the cattle in revenues. It's very important to say, because as I said to you in the beginning of this presentation, sometimes we can think that we need cattle, we need monoculture crops here in the Amazon, but actually normally it is a kind of mindset, it is a kind of illegal activities, it is a kind of very individual interest. So With this, I can show to you, and it has been founded by researchers, that if you use just these three assets from the Amazon, which is cocoa, açaí, and Brazilian nut, you can get a revenue 7 times bigger than cattle revenue. So it's a so important information, because it shows to you that it is a false alternative that between local development and forest preservation. Of course, we can do the forest preservation having its assets as very valuable and as riches. I don't know if you know actually, but cocoa is a fruit native from the Amazon. So there were no cocoa all over the world before the Portuguese people came here in the beginning of the 17th century, as I said to you. We are used to consider that the Swiss and the Swiss chocolate is one of and the Belgian chocolate is one of the best chocolates in the world, but normally we don't know that actually cocoa is a plant native from the Amazon, and that there was no cocoa abroad before our colonization. And of course, tomorrow we are going to talk about some chocolate companies which are being running here in the Amazon in a very interesting business model. So, and there's another point to say to you, that is today, the bigger cocoa producer is not Brazil, of course, anymore. Is Marfim Coast in the Africa continent. And as I said to you, when the Portuguese come here in the 16th century, they every time try to make monocultures in the Amazon, and as it didn't work, they started to take our local assets and trying to plant in their other colonies. So Africa was in Marfim Coast was on one of those, and Malaysia and Indonesia also was one of that colonies where they make the monocultivation of some local assets work. So, of course, as I said to you, we need more. We don't want just to produce it as I'm showing this slide. We don't want just produce Brazilianas and açaí and cocoa as raw material. We need to improve our products. We need to add value to our products, and the best way to do that is adding value through marketing, through experience, through branding, through transparency and tracking of the supply chain, through technology, and through a better understanding of the market. So this that you can see at the picture is Nacau, is one of my favorite companies here in the Amazon. They produce, of course, chocolate, as you can see, and they put in the just in the front of their package the face of the producer, so the customer can see directly the impact that chocolate has caused in the Amazon. And when we talk about, let's say, a Belgian chocolate, it's very difficult to do the same thing, because, of course, there is a huge distance actually between the Belgian producers and the cocoa producers, especially here in the Amazon. So we've got to use that added value of our region as almost a label. So when you produce a product within the Amazon, it is almost a certification of your product. So we in Manioc, of course, we put in all of our packings that product was made in the Amazon region, because as we have shown here, the customers are every time more and more willing to pay more and to consider to consume Amazonian sustainably produced products. So let's check in the Miro platform if there is other doubts, other questions. I need to reinforce with you even today late. If you want to put some doubt here, some question here, please do that, because with doing so we can improve the experience, and of course we can help you to do a better business here in the Amazonian experience. Okay, I will ask you one more break, 5 minutes break, please. Don't take more than 5 minutes, and we'll be here again in 5 minutes to make one activity to help us to fix the concepts and the information we've got today in this class. So please, in 5 minutes, we're gonna back here. All right, guys. So let's go back here. And please, if you can, just say, hi, I'm here in our chat, just so I can know that you are still here. Please say hello. I'm here almost alone in a room, so say hello. Unfortunately, we are not here together in person. I'm sure that we'll have the opportunity to do so, and of course, all of it I've just said to you, you'll be understand much more. You'll be actually feeling it much more interesting when you have the opportunity to be here. It will be great, of course, for those who have the opportunity to come here, to be visiting some companies, to be visiting some very interesting places here in the Amazon. I'm sure that you will be much more inspired in that time. And please, I would ask for the Brazilian and the Cesupa students to be helpful to the USA students and the other country students, trying making them to understand better our ecosystems and our environment and our potentialities. So let's go back and let's have let's have a checklist here. We have talked about the history of the Amazon. We have talked about how our colonization, how the occupation made here in the Amazon has set the way we have chosen to develop the Amazon, every time trying to control, every time trying to domesticate the forest, when actually we needed to understand how the forest works and work together with the forest. So we have also talked about climate and environment and how we are very concerned about that, and how our biodiversity and social diversity are threatened right now by the fire, by the deforestation, and how the business we are about to start here, how this business will be helpful to build another reality for the Amazon. We actually also talked about the challenge, and of course, there are no small challenges here in the Amazon, but of course, all of that challenge might be an opportunity, a business opportunity, and might be a way to make a very innovative business here in the Amazon. So we also talked to them about the business environment, and I said to you that despite of the challenge, we have also some market to establish here. We have 2 metropolitan and stronger regions where you can take advantage of the services that has been offered here. We have also talked about the view, the perspective of the customers and of our clients about the Amazonian businesses and how it is a huge opportunity to make added value products, to make a business who not only take the natural assets from the Amazon, but construct and create and build added value products and services here within the Amazon and within and with actually the local population. So we have talked the last about sustainability and bioeconomy, and of course, it is the future of the world. I've got no doubt about that. And bioeconomy, if you are talking about bioeconomy, I would say that the Amazon is the best place to start your business and to have as well as a partner place, let's say this way. And as I said to you, and I need to reinforce that, fundamentally for bioeconomy, you are going to need to understand and cooperate with local population, because they have already for generations managed and dealt with the forest. So please think about that. And let's work now. I've set it activity. I've set it activity for us to help us to understand and to fix the and to actually reinforce the content we have talked about in the last hours. So please, let's go to the Miro platform. What you would be asked for is to build a mind map at Miro, of course, connecting the main ideas you've got on every topic during our class. So what's the main ideas you've got from history, from culture, about sustainability and bioeconomy, about the challenge. So let's build a mind map to help us to organize the ideas we've got in this class. And then, of course, tomorrow, actually, you'll be asked to present this mind map, and we are starting to think in a business, understand in a better way the context of that business, which, of course, will be developed within the Amazon. So let's go to the Miro's platform. We have just a minute to do so, so please try to pay attention to that. I will stop sharing this presentation. I'll start sharing the Miro's platform. Just give me a minute. All right, so let's go. I don't know if you know what is a mind map, but actually it's just connecting the dots. I have already set the main topics we have talked about here in our class today. So here we can have challenge, climate, biodiversity, culture, history, building environment, and sustainability. And then, please, you have a board for each group. So please take care. Don't write or don't manage the board of the other groups. Yeah. Okay, so Professor Kai is helping me now, and we will ask you to go to your group meeting rooms. So please go to your group meeting rooms, and then you can access the Miro platform as you are doing now, and take one board, just one board for your team, and manage your team mind map. I will just fix here the numbers of the team. So 8 teams, right? So we've got 8 boards here. I have already set the topics of our class. So please, you just need to make some links starting in the topics. So here, okay, that's right. So you have a board for each team. If you want, you can move the boards. You can take the boards and make them bigger. You can slide the boards. You can in the mind map. So let's have an example I've said to you here in the Team 1 mind map. I actually write it here. So biodiversity, from biodiversity, what you have learned, that there is a biodiversity of fruits and plants, but also there is a biodiversity hide by technology. So if you use technology, especially high tech, we'll get another scale of biodiversity, let's say this way. So culture, please right here, clicking in the plus sign here in the mind map, what was the main aspects you've got about the culture and so on. If you want, as I said, you can slide your board, you can make your board bigger, change the color of your board actually, and so we are going to have 20 minutes to do so. So please go, as I said, go to your team meeting room, and then start, please, to producing your mind map, manage just the board of your team. Of course, you can look for other team mind maps, but look for the time, because watch the time actually, because we have only 20 minutes, and this board will be here. So if you want to come here another time, another day, you can access this information. So in our Google Meet chat, Professor Caio has put the links for your team rooms. So please, if you are of the team 1, please go to your room, and so on. So if anyone in this activity have any doubts, so please, you can tell me at the chat, and I'm here to help you. We'll have this activity until 20 minutes for 6 p.m., 6 in the afternoon. Hello, guys. Please tell your team that we have more 10 minutes, and then you must come back here at the main room. Hello, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello, guys. We'll be back in 1 minute. So please try to finish your activity and tell your team to coming back for here. All right, guys. Let's go back. Let's come back uh, to your class. Please, ask your team to get back here. Okay, I don't know if you already know that, but you can stay in this main room at the same time you are in your team room. You don't need to log out, to get out, or to leave the main room to get in your team room. So next time you are asked for that, don't worry, you can stay here so you can listen to the information, and you can also stay at the same time in your team room. So let's go back here, let's get back. Please ask your team to get back here. We are about to finish our class today, but I want to say some last words to you. So please, as I said, ask your team to get back here at the main room. All right, guys. Is everyone here? I think we haven't anybody here, so please ask your team to get back here. All right, guys, please, we need to get back here. Please ask your team to get back here to the main room. And as I said, you don't need to leave the main room to get into your team room. So the next time you are asked to do so, please stay in at the main room so you can hear and get back easily when it's time. I've sent to you a link sharing the Murals board. So if anyone couldn't get into it, please send me a message later through Classroom or through WhatsApp. The link I sent was supposed to give you all the access you need. Okay, so let's go back. Let's get back to our presentation. I will share it again. We are about to end our first class, our first day. I hope it was really helpful to you. And just one more comment about the mind map. The goal of the mind map was make it possible to you to organize your main ideas about what was said today. So don't worry about trying to get the most important thing for me or for the class. That isn't it. So the main thing here is you taking notes about what was most important for you and for the business. I think you are already starting to think now. So if you want to make a checkup in your mind map later today, please feel free for adjust it. And tomorrow you'll be asked for present one person of each team will be asked for present this mind map in just some minutes, just for sharing with everyone what you found important, most important. And remember what you found the most important in your perception, not in mine or not in the perception of the class, but what you think will be more helpful for you on each topic. I watched you construct your mind map. It was very nice. And as I said, feel free to continue after the class, of course, editing and managing it, because tomorrow we will be asked for presenting. So let's go back. I will share again my presentation, and then we need to finish your today's class. As you may know, tomorrow we are gonna talk about opportunities. So the objective tomorrow is bring to you a lot of references about the business which are already being run here in the Amazon. So we are bring a lot of examples, and feel free to take these examples as a reference to your business. And then tomorrow you'll be asked, of course, to have your first idea about your business. So tomorrow we will also have the first idea of your business. You'll be asking for create a business, not completely, but to start your thinking about your business. So the first thing I want to say to you, going to the finish of the class, is to give me feedback. So I will share with you. I have already shared it in Classroom, but I will put here in the chat the link for a forms feedback I have set for you. Please, it will be really helpful, and it's really important for me and for Amazonian Challenge team to receive your feedback about today's class. Okay, tomorrow I'll send another link so you can give the feedback about the tomorrow's class. But I will send here now a link to access a feedback form, a feedback survey about today's class. So please answer. It is only 3 questions. I will let the questions here in my screen. And please answer that, because it will be really helpful for us to improving our experience. So I will share right now the link here in the chat. And I have already shared it in Classroom. So please answer that. It will be anonymous, right? So if you want to say something anonymous, that's right. Feel free, click on the link and give me your feedback. It is just 3 questions about today's class, so please give me this feedback. All right, so guys, tomorrow, as I said, we are gonna talk about the business opportunities in the Amazon. I will really glad to present to you Manioca, which is my business, but not only Manioca, but also a lot of business running here in the Amazon, different size in business. So we are going to talk about big companies, but mostly about the small companies, because of course, as you are starting your company, it would be more, it be a better reference to you. So today, our objective today is to let you know a little bit more about the Amazon, because all of that said to you today will influence in your business. But of course, as an entrepreneur, you need to give a watch in every challenge we said today as an opportunity. And of course, an entrepreneur want deep inside to solve a problem. So don't be afraid with the challenge in the Amazon. Everywhere in the world, in any place in the world, you are gonna have challenge. Of course, if there is a place where the local challenge are minor, you'll be more companies running with you. So in every perspective, you have the ecosystem influentiate your business, but also give you opportunities. All right, so in the forms I've sent to you, please answer me what you like the most at today's class, what you didn't like at today's class, and what do you think is missing, was missing actually in today's class. So there is a blank also space, so you can write any message you want about today's class. Feel free. It's not mandatory, but these 3 questions in my screen, they are mandatory. I need you to answer that, and it will be really helpful, as I said. Well, so guys, I will see you tomorrow, right? As I said, thank you for being here with me today. I really hope that what I said will be helpful for your business and will be helpful for you to understand better this so rich region that is Amazonian region. Tomorrow, as I said before, we are talking about business opportunities. So please come to the class with a creative mind, because tomorrow we are going to have a lot of reference of business that has been run here. And of course, you will be asked for start the first ideas of your business. So thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Please answer the feedback survey, the feedback forms, and we'll be here tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon, right? So see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. It was a great pleasure to be here with you today. See you.